Hello everyone, this is Edu Periodic and today we discuss a new topic that is changes in matter. So what is it? To understand the science of changes, and changes in matter are two types. First one is physical changes and second one is chemical changes. These two changes are help us to understand about more about matters. So let's see both changes one by one. First one I take that is physical changes. So what is physical changes? These changes do not alter the composition of substance, only its physical property. Example, if I take include changes in states like solid to liquid and liquid to gas, changes in shape, size, or texture. The molecule remains the same, but their arrangement or state changes. Okay, so in these changes, the one main point we remember that is no new substance are formed. Okay, and only changes in size and in colors and not in their chemical properties. So that is physical changes. If I take some example, some very common example, cutting paper into pieces and cutting the hair, and its important example including all three states solid, liquid, and gas, and their phase transitions are involved in physical changes. We already discussed phase transition in previous video, so please check out this to better understanding. Okay, next example I take boiling of water and cutting carrot. So I take another examples, that is dissolving and mixing. When we dissolve a salt into water, then we see a homogeneous mixture we get. So what is this? That is physical changes, because we get a solution of mixture of both water plus salt. So there is no new substance form, only both two are present there, salt plus water. So yes, dissolving and mixing also consider in physical changes. If I dissolve sugar in coffee. Yes, next I took changes in size and shape. So change in size and shape. If we take a paper, I cut into pieces. So I say that paper change their size and shape, but not new product form. So yes, this category in physical change. Next, I example tag that is energy change. Energy change is very important example in physical change. If I boil a water, I required a minimum temperature to boil water. So what is this energy change? If I take example that is here, adding heat or removing heat, that is cooling from an object, can change its states of matter. Yes, we discuss is. So if I take when we heat ice and in a solid form, that is convert into water, that is liquid. So ice to liquid is a phase transition. Okay, and other hand, when we removing heat, that is process is called cooling, then we get water to heat, and this is also called freezing point. So this is phase transition state involved in physical changes. Next, I take reversibility of physical changes. What is this? Uh, so I take better understand a example. Ice, we already see example ice. When we heat, it change into water. When we cool, then water change into solid. So this is also a example of reversible changes. That means we when we get water, then we convert into their neutral form, that is ice. So this is reversible changes. Another example we know, when we heat water, that is change into steam, and we also do this process reversible by cooling process. So yes, physical changes are reversible, very important. Next I take that is sublimation and deposition. And sublimation or deposition is also a type of phase transition we already discussed. In sublimation, we take naphthalene balls, a common example where solid directly change into gas, and deposition where gas directly change into solid without liquid gas change, without liquid changes. So these are also physical changes. And what is the importance of physical changes in our everyday life? Because like melting cheese, adding ice to a drink, baking and mix different ingredients, like dissolving any cooking material and boiling water, that is also part of our lives. I have a most important question there, that is, what is the only substance on earth that exists in all three states at ordinary temperature? And that is water. And water in exist in all three forms, like solid, like liquid and gas. So in solid form, it's called melting point when solid change into liquid. Okay, and in freezing point, what is liquid to a solid, and what is boiling point, that is liquid to a gas. This all are involved in phase transition. To better understand, please check out previous video. Okay, next changes I take, that is chemical. What is chemical changes? Chemical changes involve the formation of new product or substance with different chemical properties. The atoms and molecules of the reactant rearrange to form new product. So here we remember that key point, that is new product form. It's important. There, yes, molecular and atomic structures change, their rearrangement change, and we got a new product. And there are some simple signs to understand what is chemical changes. The first one is any release of gas, it considered in chemical changes. Formation of precipitate in any reaction, and absorption or release of heat, yes, important. It's also a change of, it's also a sign of chemical change. So these clues and signs are helpful to understand uh, what is chemical changes. Okay, let's take some example to understand better what is it. The first example I take, that is rearranging atom. In chemical changes, first one is atoms rearrange yourself and make new product. So I take example where hydrogen and oxygen bond each other and make new product, that is water, H2O. Okay, so here H2, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas rearrange themselves and got new products. So yes, some bonds are break and some bonds are make in this process. Next I take, that is combustion. What is combustion? Combustion is a chemical reaction that release heat or light, and in the presence of oxygen. First example I take, burning of wood or coal to heat our home. When we burn wood, that is chemical change. And our cars and buses during petrol or diesel to run. When petrol burn, our buses are run. And next example, burning candles, matches, and campfires and gas burners are all example of chemical changes in category of combustion. So yes, if I take a next example in a form of reaction where methane in the presence of oxygen, and it's produce carbon dioxide and water. So yes, this is example of combustion reaction. Okay, next I take example, that is oxidation. So what is oxidation? The reaction of substance with oxygen or other oxidizing agent, formation of oxide, is called oxidation. If I take example, the rusting of iron is a very popular example of oxidation, where iron react with water and oxygen to make iron oxide. So this type of reaction involved in chemical changes. Yes, next one is acid base transformation. What is acid? Acid that give H plus, and what is base? Base except H plus is called base. A simple reaction I take, that is where hydrochloric acid, that is acid, and NaOH, that is base, react with each other and make NaCl, that is called salt, and H2O. So this type of reaction, acid base transformation reaction, are included in chemical changes. Okay, formation of new substance. Yes, it's important key point in chemical changes. Always a new substance form. if I take example, mixing of vinegar, that is vinegar and baking soda, sodium bicarbonate we take, and that is we got a salt of acid and H2O and CO2. So here when we mix vinegar and baking soda, we got a new product, salt of acid. Here are other some common example. When we burn wood, we got as when we burn cigarette, we got smoke. Next, when a raw egg we cook, then we got a cooked egg, and with the help of milk we got paneer. So this all reactions are included in chemical changes. And the next point is irreversible changes. Yes, chemical reactions are irreversible because when we boiling a egg, when we never got a raw egg again. When we baking a cake, we never got its ingredient again. So this type of chemical changes in the irreversible changes always burning of paper, wood, coal, candle, other example, rusting of iron are all included in irreversible changes. Okay, I take example to understand better. When we make a potato patty, when we mix potato ingredients and we heat, then we got a delicious potato patty. We cannot make again potato raw. Okay, next example, cooking a cake. Sorry, cooking a egg. We already discussed about that. Okay, next feature, that is everyday applications. All that example we take, that all included in everyday application like burning wood to get fire, and burning petrol and diesel to our buses are running and our transports are running, and baking, and other example are included in everyday application to help in our lives. That means chemical changes all around us. Okay, next example I take, that is fermentation. What is fermentation? So this is a biochemical process where sugars are converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide with the help of yeast on bacteria. So when sugar C6H12O6 by fermented by yeast or bacteria, we got alcohol and CO2. So this alcohol important product for our industrial uses. Okay, next example, that is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis useful for human beings and plants as well as. So what is this process? So carbon dioxide with the help of H2O and light, that means sunlight, produce glucose, that is food for plant, and we got oxygen for human beings. It's necessary. So yes, this reaction in involving chemical changes. So yes, next but not least, that is digestion. Digestion, it's also a chemical changes. With the help of this process, our food easily convert into simpler compound that can our cell can absorb and utilize. So yes, that's are all changes. So here are a list of the two differences between chemical changes and physical changes. In chemical reaction or changes, we got a new substance, but in physical we don't new substance got. And next difference is their atomic or molecular structure changes, but there is only change in state, physical state, or their properties. Okay, next changes is related to energy. This process are chemical reactions are irreversible and they release or absorb of energy. But in physical reactions, often reversible or may not involve energy changes. It's not necessary to involvement of energy, like cutting of paper not involve of energy, but boiling of water is necessary to proceed this process required energy. So yes, that's all. I hope you all like this video. If you like, please like and subscribe, and till then, stay safe, stay curious.